With the recent announcement of the divorce of Bill and Melinda Gates, there's been a great deal of buzz surrounding the division of their massive joint wealth. After 27 years of marriage, the couple has amassed an unimaginable fortune. At any given time, it's estimated that Bill Gates alone is among the 4 richest people on Earth. So, how rich is Bill Gates? Right now, his estimated net worth is around $127 billion. That is a 12-digit number, just for reference. While that number is certainly impressive, it's difficult to comprehend such a magnitude of wealth. But don't worry, we will help illustrate how rich Bill Gates really is with these 16 facts. Before we dive in, make sure you don't miss our next video and subscribe at the button down below. Number 1. Gates is the 4th richest person in the world. According to Forbes Billionaire Tracker, Gates is the 4th richest person in the world as of June 2021. Up until recently, he held the title of the world's wealthiest individual, but was eclipsed by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. While Gates' net worth shifts daily due to fluctuation in assets, his current estimated net worth is $127 billion. To put that in perspective, the average college-educated American will earn a measly $2 million in their entire lifetime. Gates could burn through $2 million per hour and never run out of money in his lifetime. Number 2. He is one of 8 global centi-billionaires. While there are 2,755 billionaires in the world, Bill Gates is one of only 8 centi-billionaires in the world, or people who are worth over $100 billion. So while you may struggle with your first million, there are 8 people out there comfortably heading towards their first trillion. Number 3. His net worth is greater than the GDP of 130 countries. While we measure people's wealth with net worth, the equivalent for countries is GDP, or gross domestic product. GDP is the sum of all goods and services minus the value of imported goods and services. With a net worth of $127 billion, Bill Gates' net worth is higher than the 2017 GDPs of 130 countries. Number 4. His net worth represents more than 0.5% of America's $21.43 trillion GDP. In most cases, 0.5% seems negligible. However, it's not in this case. Bill Gates' wealth represents 0.6% of America's gross domestic product, which is the value of goods and services produced in an entire year. When you consider that the US has over 382 million people, it's truly staggering that one person could account for nearly a full percent of its wealth. Number 5. Reportedly, Gates owns nearly half of the Four Seasons Holdings hotel chain. Gates teamed up with the Prince of Saudi Arabia, Al-Walid bin Talal, to purchase the Canadian luxury hotel chain for $3.8 billion in 2007. Together, both billionaires share 95% ownership of the luxury chain. The chain is known for luxury and comfort, but it comes at a price. Rooms at their top resorts start at $1,000 per night and cost up to $50,000 per night for a penthouse suite. Number 6. Gates has donated around 1/3 of his wealth to charity. In 2010, the Gateses pledged to donate 95% of their wealth as part of the Giving Pledge. Despite donating nearly $50 billion since 1994, the couple hasn't even given away 1/3 of their estimated wealth. A portion of that money has been funneled through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which helped eradicate polio in developing nations and plans to eliminate malaria as well. To put that into perspective, the research and development of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine cost $1 billion. Gates has donated 50 times that. Number 7. His net worth increased by $24 billion over the pandemic. While many Americans struggled to pay their rent, many billionaires became even richer throughout the pandemic. Bill Gates is no exception. His net worth increased by $24 billion in 2020. The new One World Trade Center, which is among the most expensive buildings in the world, cost nearly $4 billion and took 8 years to build. Gates made 6 times that in 1 year. Number 8. According to Business Insider, Gates makes $1,300 per second. If you do the math, this means Bill Gates makes $78,000 per minute, $4.6 million per hour, and over $112.3 million per day. With that much money, Gates could purchase a high-end private jet every day and a Boeing 747 commercial jet every 4 days. Number 9. Gates is nearly 70% richer than the British Monarchy. After over 1,200 years and 37 generations, Gates is nearly 70% more wealthy than the British Monarchy, even after his donations. Though the monarchy certainly portrays pomp and prestige, polo-wearing Bill Gates is actually much wealthier. So, next time you compare yourself to influencers on Instagram, remember that flashy adornments and prestige are not good indicators of true wealth. Number 10. $1 to the average American equates to $1 million for Gates. Dividing the average American household net worth of $127,700 by Gates' $127 billion nets a comparison of spending power. If you were to purchase a coffee off of the McDonald's $1 menu, it would be comparable to Bill Gates purchasing a $1 million vacation home. In other words, Bill Gates can purchase vacation homes like you purchase a cup of coffee. Number 11. Bill Gates could give every person on Earth $16. At his current net worth of $127 billion, Gates could give every single one of the 7.6 billion people on Earth $16 and still have some left to spare. Number 12. It's basically impossible for him to spend his entire net worth. If Gates wanted to spend his wealth down to every last penny, he'd have to burn through approximately $4 million per day for 30 years. However, that estimate does not take into account interest earned on his investments. If you consider an average rate of return of 6 to 10%, it would be nearly impossible for him to spend his entire fortune as it would continue to replenish. Number 13. Gates' primary residence is a $124 million mansion in Medina, Washington. The average sale price of a new home in the US is $400,000. Gates' primary residence costs a magnitude of 310 times more. His 66,000 square foot house is on Lake Washington in Medina, Washington, and has 7 bedrooms and 19 bathrooms. It's also decked out in the latest technology, as you would expect. The home is perfect for entertaining and can accommodate up to 150 people in a reception hall and home theater. The property also boasts a beach with imported sands from St. Lucia. Number 14. His Medina home includes a 2,100 square foot library. Gates is well known for his studious persona and interest in books, so it should be no surprise that he also has a library in his home. The library is massive. At 2,100 square feet, it's about the size of the median American household. The library boasts a dome roof and not 1 but 2 secret bookcases. The ceiling also contains a quote from The Great Gatsby. He had come a long way to this blue lawn, and his dream must have seemed so close that he could hardly fail to grasp it. Number 15. Gates owns a $30.8 million Leonardo da Vinci notebook. Gates has digital art throughout his household, however, one of the books in his massive library is from none other than famous artist Leonardo da Vinci. Gates purchased one of Da Vinci's notebooks for a cool $30.8 million at an auction and is reportedly one of his prized possessions. As an ideologue himself, Gates says that he admires Da Vinci's thirst for knowledge and quest for the truth. Although nearly $31 million is more than the average mansion, Gates makes that in one day. Number 16. He pays nearly $1.1 million in property taxes per year on just his main residence alone. While Gates owns dozens of properties, he pays nearly $1.1 million a year in property taxes on just his home residence in Medina. In comparison to that, the average American household shells out just $2,500 in property taxes per year. Hopefully, this helps to illustrate how massive Gates' fortune truly is. If you had $127 billion, give or take, what would you do with it? Tell us in the comments below. Thank you for watching and see you in our next video.